Someone always finds the dirt and airs out the laundry. That's why any and everything I've ever done, I'd rather you ask.
Guys, here I am, and I'm back for another video. So this video is going to be about Rolling Loud. So I went to Rolling Loud last year with one of my guy best friends. He is from Tampa. I actually worked in Tampa for about 6 months, and then I ended up coming back home just because financially it made the most sense to me at the time. So that's that. But anyway, so he had never been to Miami, so I'm like, yo, let's go to Miami. Let's make a trip of this. Like, we're gonna go to Rolling Loud. We're gonna see Blueface.
Funny games, still a nigga tripping. Blow out the west side just to catch some slipping.
He likes Blueface, so I'm like, let's go see Blueface. Let's check it out. Seems cool, right? So we ended up going to Miami. We met up that Friday, I want to say. Yep, we met up on that Friday, and then we just kind of like got something to eat, and then we went out and we went to Rolling Loud. So Friday night, they had, I mean, overall, I enjoyed the festival, but we'll get there. So Friday night, we got there. They had, I want to say it was Rae Sremmurd, and then right after Rae Sremmurd, Cardi B and Migos was supposed to come out. So this was the first night, and basically this is my first time ever going to Rolling Loud. I've been to a music festival before, but this is my first time at Rolling Loud. And I know it's still relatively new, like might be in the 5th or 6th year, something like that. So anyway, we're here. We just finished watching Rae Sremmurd. They gave like this huge performance with a lot of energy. It was awesome. And then the lights turn out. We're waiting now for Cardi B to come out. So in our efforts, we're sitting here, we're waiting, you know, and you can't let people wait too long, because once you have people waiting for a long time, then things start happening that shouldn't. So anyway, we're sitting here, it's dark, the lights are out on the stage, whatnot. So we're waiting, and then all of a sudden, like, we see people run, like people are running, and it's just like people are running, they start pushing, and it's just like, oh my gosh, what is happening? So in an effort to keep from getting trampled, me and my friend, we're both running, trying to get away from the crowd. And it's like people are like, oh, there's a shooting, somebody's shooting, whatever. Just hordes of people running, pushing, everything else, tearing down fences. We don't see any exit signs, so people are basically having to make their own exits. So we get out, and then once we finally get out, we're walking down the sidewalk, and we just see like a bunch of cop cars flying down the road. All of them have their lights flashing and everything. A few minutes later, we end up seeing, I want to say a helicopter was kind of circling around trying to see what's going on in the area. But all of us had run, and we were just like, okay, well, let's just keep running. Let's just get away. So we get away. We get to this gas station. We're like trying to get an Uber or a Lyft or something, and nobody's coming, just because, you know, at this point, everybody has exited. Most people that were at that particular stage have exited, and they're trying to get rides and trying to get back to their hotels and stuff. I'm checking Twitter. I'm like, well, is Rolling Loud making an official announcement to say that there's been a shooting? Like, there's no update. I don't know what's going on. And then sometime later, I checked the Rolling Loud Twitter account, whatever, and they say, oh, well, Cardi B and Migos are actually getting on stage now. Feel free to come back. We'll let you enter. Technically, they say when you leave the festival, you can't come back. Like, you come, and then you only get to enter once a day. So once you come, you don't get to re-enter. So in this instance, they were saying that we could go back, and we could, in fact, re-enter and get to see Cardi B and Migos perform. But at this point, you know, we gotten so far away from it, and weren't really feeling it anymore, so we ended up going back to the hotel. Well, the next night I had Travis Scott. So the next night, I have never seen Travis Scott perform, and I really wanted to see him. So during his performance, people that started, which we ended up finding out later on, I think it was a fight, but somebody claimed that they heard gunshots. And it's like, well, it's rap music. So of course in rap music, you're gonna hear gunshots and different things. So you might have heard a gun, but nobody actually had a gun at the festival. So anyway, the second night, Travis Scott's performing, and then all of a sudden we see people starting to push and do that run crap again. And I'm like, well, you know what? If people start running and pushing and stuff like that, I'm not going anywhere because I want to see this performance. They're not going to ruin this festival for me. So anyway, people start pushing and some people start running and stuff again. And then I see a girl being kind of guided through the crowd by, I guess, her boyfriend. And she's got like this look on her face like she is about to rip into somebody and it's about to be a fight. So anyway, I'm assuming at this point, basically it's people fighting. People are fighting and everyone else is running away. Which to me is very strange because I went to, not to say anything or generalize about anybody specifically, but I can say that I went to an all-black high school, and anytime that there was a fight, people at that school ran to fights, not away. So for people to be running away from fights was very odd to me. Not that I was never one to run to fights, and I'm grown. I'm not running to a fight. I could care less about the fight. The fight is not what I paid for. I paid for the festival. So anyway, there was apparently a fight that was about to break out. Here comes a helicopter shining the light down. The helicopter has to shine a light down into the crowd to get them to calm down. And then we see her being pushed through the crowd by her boyfriend, guiding her out to get her out of the festival. So that was the second night. The last night, we basically, at the end of it, I want to say one of the sponsors for the festival is like talking to everyone calmly, like, you know, please calmly go to the exits, calmly exit the festival, please calmly walk, you know, to the exits, please follow the exit signs, yada yada yada. You know, it's like a teacher that has a class that is riled up, and in order to calm the class, she talks in a low and calming voice, and that's basically what was happening. And so to me, I'm like, well, I'm a grown person. The person that came with me is a grown person. We're adults. We should not need anybody to talk to us in a calming manner to calmly exit. And to me, it just made me feel like I was back in high school and we're like having to be coached on how to exit. Like we need coaching to exit calmly so people don't start pushing and fighting. And it's just like, it was very childish and it was very immature. Overall, the music I enjoyed. But the rest of the experience between the fighting, the running and pushing, I've never seen so much trash on a field. So it's like every night, like you're walking and you're constantly kicking bottles or beer cans or something on the ground. It was just that bad. And so it was just like walking amongst the sea of trash. By the time the end of the night came, you were just walking in trash and filth, and it was just bad. But otherwise, as far as the music and the artists, I really enjoyed that part of the experience. But as far as everything else, even the food, I felt there were a lot of food choices. I ended up getting hot dogs, I think one day, and then another day I want to say I got like chicken tenders. But either way, the food that I did get, I will say it's a good thing it's a music festival. It's about the music and not about the food, I guess. So the food was not the greatest, but I would rate the musical experience. The musical experience of the festival was definitely good, and it was definitely, I feel like, worth going. At least if you go once just to experience. I would say it's at least good to go and experience the music and be there for the music, but everything else I was not there for. So anyway, if anybody else has been to Rolling Loud or has any opinion. And then another thing that happened too was, I want to say it was the last day. It was either the last day or the second day where they had a big rainstorm, a big thunderstorm. And so a lot of sets got changed and moved around. So of course, you know, they have an app where you can look to see what time your artists are going to be playing so you can be at the stage. So one of the things that happened was, because of the storm, a lot of sets got delayed. And so everybody's like trying to keep up. They're like, well, when is DMX playing? When is Danny Lay supposed to be performing? When is so-and-so supposed to be performing? And so it was very hard to keep up with because they changed all the set times, but they didn't update it in the app, and they didn't necessarily update it because they had big screens up showing you what dates or what times people were playing, and they didn't update those right away. So it was a lot of lag where you go to the stage to see a certain person perform, somebody else that comes out, and you're like, well, what happened to the set times? So it's like you're constantly running from stage to stage trying to see who's actually performing at what time. So that could have been handled a lot better. However, again, it's still somewhat in its infancy. It's only been a couple of years that it's been going on. So hopefully it does get there to a space where things can be handled a little bit better. So anyway, those are my thoughts. If anybody else attended Rolling Loud last year and, you know, they feel that they can relate to this experience, just post it in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Follow me at chastity.elise on Instagram. And check me out on SoundCloud, chastity.elise on there as well. Got 2 songs out, Word Ripper and Good Luck Girl. Let me know what you guys think. All right, later.
Just gon' play me on phone. Thinking about your day, smoking crazy, walking to the day. I try to buy it. I even need it.